This version of the Edmonton Oilers is terrifying as everybody contributed to the lineup last night, including that man, Stuart Skinner, in a huge bounce back game against the Vegas Golden Knights with the chance to go up 3-1 in the series, heading back to Vegas on Wednesday night. All that more today on Oilers Digest as we take a deep dive into what makes this team so scary when they are on their game. But first, 80% of you, a staggering 80% of you, have not yet subscribed to the channel. If you're loving the content here, if you're loving the Oilers, make sure you hit that button down below for any and all Oiler content here. As you know, the team of destiny seems to be continuing their way through the Stanley Cup playoffs. And let's get right into this one with Mr. Game 4 shuts the door. Yes, number 74, Stuart Skinner, propelled the Edmonton Oilers in a huge bounce back game, possibly the biggest game of his career since, Game 7 against Florida. This is a huge swing game. Win this and you go up 3-1 in the series, lose it and you go back to Vegas tied at 2. But the Edmonton Oilers and Stuart Skinner and everybody contributing up and down the lineup there to a 3-0 Edmonton Oilers victory to take a stranglehold 3-1 series lead on Vegas there. Just taking a look at the scoring summary there, it wasn't a whole lot, but it was just enough here for the Edmonton Oilers as Adam Henrique gets 2 goals in the first period there from Connor Brown. A fantastic pickpocket play by Connor Brown on Zach Whitecloud, finding Adam Henrique all alone in front, making it 1-0 Oilers there. And a bit of a pile up in front there with Zach Hyman, Adam Henrique, and Evander Kane, all three of those guys in the crease of Aiden Hill, who was, taunted all night long by the Rogers Place faithful chanting. Aiden all night long, pointed, waving their towels towards him there in a taunting manner there, and it surely got in his head. And then in the second period there, a fantastic outlet pass by Evan Bouchard finds Connor McDavid to Evander Kane, finding the 5-hole on Aiden Hill, and that was all she wrote there for the Edmonton Oilers. Like I said, this game had it all there. You can see, Evander Kane being pushed into Aiden Hill there by Braden McNabb there, and somehow, Edmonton got the penalty out of this after they scored. The puck did cross the line before all the shenanigans did occur there, so there was no worry about goalie interference. You can see Aiden Hill again angry all night long at any Oiler that passed by his crease there. And again, somehow Edmonton didn't get a power play out of this. In fact, they went short-handed, but, Vegas not capitalizing on any of their power play chances. And Evander Kane, a very matured Evander Kane in the post-game, so I don't know if we were purposely trying to get in his head or get to him, but he seemed to be taking some slashes against us. It's tough to avoid content when you're getting cross-checked into him. We want to go there hard, to the crease hard. Vegas and their big defensemen make it very difficult, but the Oilers found numerous ways to Aiden Hill last night and play within the rules and not have goals disallowed. So that's important there. Shots on goal 32-23. Edmonton holding Vegas to 17 shots at 5-on-5 there. And Vegas getting 3 power plays in the first period, not capitalizing on any of them. But the downside is Edmonton, with their 2 power plays, also unable to get any power play goal action there. I mean, again, very bittersweet, but you take what you can get here. If you let Vegas go 0 for 3 and the Oilers dominating at 5-on-5, you know what? I'll take that. And also dominating on the dot there, 35-24 in favor of the Oilers. And only 20 block shots. I mean, in the third period, it seemed like they had 20 block shots in the third period alone. Just trying to get Stuart Skinner, some more confidence between the pipes. I mean, how much more confidence when you get a 3-0 shutout. But also, third star of the game to Stuart Skinner. Shocking how he only got the third star of the game there. But you know what? All 3 being Oilers, I cannot complain about that whatsoever. With Adam Henrique throwing him back to his New Jersey days there, a clutch playoff performer there, 2 goals for a +2 and only 13:35 time on ice. And Evander Kane, this is the X factor in this Vegas-Edmonton series. A healthy Evander Kane is a very scary Evander Kane. You need someone with that pushback against the Vegas Golden Knights. I mean, multiple Oilers had pushback last night. Kasperi Kapanen threw some, huge hits there. Of course, I was complaining that he was in the lineup over Jeff Skinner, and now I'm eating crow. But you know what? I'm not complaining about that at all. Trent Frederick got into a scrap with Nick Hague and lots of other different Oilers there, imposing their physicality on the Vegas Golden Knights, something that we haven't seen, consistently from these Oilers all season. When they're playing angry there, it almost seemed like they were the team down 2-1 last night in the series there. But Stuart Skinner, I mean, a lot of credit to this guy. I mean, if I complain about him, then I also have to praise him, and this is what I'm doing right here. I was going to wear my Stu jersey, but it is far too hot where I'm recording today, but just know it's off in the distance there. All left to Stu there, but Stu said all I can really say is thanks to the guys playing in front of me. They were amazing tonight. They made my job a lot easier. They were battling and blocked a lot of shots, and the way that we played defensively was superb, so a lot of credit to the guys. But again, a lot of credit to Stuart Skinner. There are a lot of key saves in the opening frame there. There's, a key breakaway save in the first period. In the third period, when, the Vegas Golden Knights were all over the Oilers in the Oilers zone, 6-on-5 with Aiden Hill pulled. Very calm, collected, and poised was Stuart Skinner there. A far cry from, when he was all over the crease. But you know what? When he finds his game, especially when he's Mr. Game 4, I'll pull up the stat here in just a second, but just tremendous play from number 74 last night there. You can see almost 2 goals saved above expected there, 1.96. Maybe we'll just round it up, 2. And then he went 5 for 5, a perfect 5 for 5 on the high danger saves in high danger shots against there for a high danger save percentage of, he was a perfect on the night there. Medium danger shots against, low danger shots against. Doesn't matter what you threw at Stuart Skinner, but he shut the door there. Like the stat I was saying from Sportsnet here, Stuart Skinner is a perfect 5-0 in Game 4 there. You can call him Mr. Game 4 there. I saw a stat last night, best goals against average in Game 4. Stuart Skinner was 5th on the list, but after last night jumped up to 1 with a 1.32 goals against average and a 953 save percentage in 2 shutouts there. So the guy's found his niche, and this is exactly what we love to see, especially in Game 4. His record in games 1 to 3, not the best, but his record in games when you have your backs against the wall, it matters tremendously, and lots of love to Stuart Skinner. These past couple videos, the past couple months, again, I haven't been, the most, I don't want to say, I haven't had the many, many compliments towards Stuart Skinner. That's the word I was trying to find here, folks. Many compliments towards Stuart Skinner, but again, got the job done when it mattered there, and the Oilers just playing lockdown defense for a good chunk of the game there. Like I mentioned, only 17 shots allowed, 5-on-5 there, and only held the Golden Knights to 2 high danger chances for in the third period there, when Vegas again was trying to throw everything at the kitchen sink and nothing was working there. So a dominant performance from start to finish from your Edmonton Oilers last night, up and down the lineup there. The Oilers can roll all 4 lines against any one of the Golden Knights lines, and any of those 3 pairs against any of Vegas's 3 pairs there. So again, not a whole lot of other stuff to say other than a key win from the Oilers last night. And again, all 4 lines, like I said, you can roll any one of them. The McDavid line, the Draisaitl line, even though he does look hurt there, but Kapanen and Podkolzin providing some energy to that line, which was needed there in the absence of Victor Arvidsson. Who knows what he's dealing with, but Kapanen, again, adding something that, again, I was eating crow from yesterday's video, wondering why Jeff Skinner wasn't in this lineup there, but Kapanen proving me, and I'm sure a lot of other people, wrong there. But these Oilers, when they are rolling, they are dangerous, and not to mention, yesterday I was harping on Darren Ulners pretty much the entire video there, but you bring back a confident, deep partner that he's, played with for majority of the season, Troy Stecher, and it makes him a whole lot better, a whole lot more comfortable on the ice there. You can see last game he was on for 3 goals against, but last night on for 2 goals for and nothing against there, out shooting the opposition when he's on the ice by a significant degree there. So again, Nurse and Stecher do not break that pair up whatsoever. Knoblauch and Coffee, you found what works and stick to it there. Knoblauch even agrees. I said I thought the pairs were really good and they were rolling them over. It's easier to play when you have your regular partner, and I think Nurse and Stetch have played a lot of time together. With Stetch coming back into the lineup, it was an easier transition for him to come back with his regular partner, a guy with whom he's played a lot and feels comfortable. So I think that helped there. Not just Nurse and Stetcher, but Kulak and Bouchard. Kulak being elevated up to the top pair. Fantastic. Once again, sure, it looked like, he had a bit of a rough stretch there during these playoffs, but he's elevated his game to the proper standard there. Not to mention a formidable, a solid second pair there with Jake Wallman and John Klingberg there. Two guys that can, transport the puck very well there and help out the Oilers in key areas there. And just taking a look at the hockey stats right here before we get into what's next for these Edmonton Oilers. But this match is the eye test tremendously well. Adam Henrique, again a veteran, Adam Henrique, who has been much needed for this Oilers depth. Darnell Nurse, after being at the bottom of this hockey stat chart in Game 3, at near the top of this one there. But again, it just goes to show, when he's put with something that he's comfortable with Troy Stecher, it works out in the long run there. And again, not a whole lot of negatives from last night's game. Again, the guys at the bottom of this chart here, Janmark, Perry, Frederick Kapanen, even Nuge to an extent, adding some much needed physicality to the Oilers to, provide some pushback against the Vegas Golden Knights. But what is next for these Edmonton Oilers? I mean, they're up 3-1 in the series. Why? How much farther can this team go? You got them on the ropes. You got Vegas on the ropes. Of course, Vegas has only lost in 5 games twice. Once to, I do believe it was Dallas in the 2020 bubble there in that conference final, and then 2018 in their first season in the Stanley Cup final to the Washington Capitals. So Vegas is a very tough out no matter who they roll out there. But Stuart Skinner, again, you need a performance like this again on Wednesday night there with Oilers Golden Knights back at T-Mobile Arena, 8:30 Central, 7:30 Mountain on Hockey Night in Canada. And Stuart Skinner was asked, after the game last night, all the outside noise from, fan pages, from, people on Twitter, Edmonton Sports Talk Radio, national sports talk radio. I know I saw some, guys on the overdrive there with the TSN radio, wondering about Stuart Skinner. You just have to wonder, goalie is a very mental position. And how does Stuart Skinner handle with the outside noise? And he responded with, what outside noise? I have no idea, no clue what's going on, which, very even keeled for a goaltender. Is he pulling our leg? Who knows? But with the game of hockey, there's so many things that can happen. That's just professional sports, especially in my position. For me, I decided to play this position, so it's completely my fault. I've been in situations like this many times before. I'm going to be in them again. So you just can't really tell the future. Again, it's kind of what I was saying before, just sticking to my process, playing my game, and doing my best out there. And the Oilers will need his best again on Wednesday night. But that is it for today's video. Let me know down in the comments what you thought about last night's game, and what did you think about Stuart Skinner's performance. Do you think he can keep this up for game number 5? I'm very curious to see what your thoughts are regarding last night's game. I mean, that was one of the best complete 60-minute efforts from the Oilers all season long there. I mean, game 1 was a very good effort, but again, they only played really 40 minutes out of the 60, letting Vegas go up 2-0 before the end of the first. But last night, from start to finish, I really had no worries about these Oilers, just the way they played, and they knew how important this game was. But again, let me know down in the comments, and if you haven't already, folks, 80% of you have not subscribed, so make sure you hit that button down below and enjoy the day today, folks. For me, it's nice outside. I don't know where it is where you are, but enjoy the day. Take care. Let's go Oilers. I'm Matt.